Did you file a claim with a car insurance company and your claim was denied? Check out this short video to learn the top 8 reasons why insurance companies deny claims. Hey everybody, Barry here with the Lawful Channel. On this channel you're going to find short videos on the legal topics that affect our lives. If you haven't already, would you subscribe to our channel? And if you have any questions or comments or concerns, please reach out to me. If I can't help you, I'll try and find someone who can. Okay, the first reason why an insurance company may deny your claim. Now this assumes that you file a claim with the insurance company for the driver who hit you, not your own insurance. So the bottom line is they've done an investigation into the accident. They've interviewed their insured. Maybe you gave them a recorded statement. They've looked at the physical evidence and they denied your claim. Well, if they deny your claim because they assume that you are at fault for the accident or that you're liable for the accident and you disagree, what are your options? Well, you have 2 options. One, if you only have property damage, and if you have insurance coverage that covers your property damage, you can file a claim with your own insurance to get the property damage fixed. But what if you have bodily injuries? What if you suffered pain and suffering and you disagree that you were at fault for the accident? Well, then your only option is really to file a lawsuit. Now, I've talked about it on this channel many times. If you've suffered very minor injuries or just property damage, chances are you don't need a lawyer. But if you suffered moderate to severe injuries, I strongly recommend consulting with a personal injury attorney. If you need a referral to a personal injury attorney near you, reach out to me. I've got a nationwide network of lawyers and I'm happy to make an introduction. One last thought. It may be that the insurance company for the driver who hit you doesn't find you totally at fault for the accident. Maybe they say that their insured is 80% at fault and they put 20% of the fault on you. Well, what can you do? Well, I did a whole video on when you might want to accept a little bit of percentage of fault for an accident. I'll put that in the description for this video, and I'm also going to put a link to it at the end of this video, so check that out. Okay, the second reason why an insurance claim might be denied. Now, this applies whether you filed a claim with the other guy's insurance or with your own insurance. And that's a situation when the insurance policy that you're trying to claim from has lapsed. Aside from being denied because of liability reasons, a lapsed policy is the one thing that I see the most out of all the other reasons why insurance companies deny claims. It's amazing how many people let their insurance policies lapse. Maybe they didn't get the notice in the mail. Maybe they just forgot to make a payment, whatever it is. I strongly recommend you stay on top of your insurance payments because if the policy lapses and is not in effect at the time of the accident, there's not going to be insurance coverage. And when I say at the time of the accident, I mean at the time of the accident. I had somebody contact me on this channel who got in an accident and his insurance policy had lapsed. Well, when he got home, he realized, oh my God, I hadn't made a payment. So he tried to make a payment after the accident occurred, just a couple hours afterwards. But the insurance claim was still denied. Why? Because the policy was not in effect at the time of the accident. Okay, the third reason I see insurance claims get denied quite often is that the claimant, the victim, didn't file a claim within a set standard period of time. Now, this is very common with those substandard insurance companies, the kind you see that are running advertisements at 12 o'clock at night. They're often local insurance companies. They have very strict time periods to file a claim within 30 days of an accident happening or whatever it might be. And if you don't file within that set period of time, they're going to deny your claim. Now, this could apply to State Farm and Allstate too. That's why I always encourage people, don't delay, file a claim right away. And even more so, file a claim with both insurance companies. Yes, file a claim with the driver who hit you, but also always file a claim with your insurance company too. I just recorded a video on this topic. I'll put a link to that video in the description below. But it's critical that you also file a claim right away with your own insurance company so that you don't miss those timelines as well. Okay, the fourth reason I see insurance claims denied is that there's fraud involved or the claimant lied to the insurance company. Well, lying to the insurance company is the surefire way to get a claim denied. And I'm talking about whether you're going to lie to the third party's insurance company or lying to your own insurance company. I can almost guarantee if you lie about something to the insurance company, they're going to deny your claim. Now, I'm not going to go into the fraud issue. I think we all can agree that there's a huge amount of fraud in the insurance industry. I personally haven't seen a lot of fraud, and when I have seen it, which has been a couple times in all these years of doing this, I haven't gotten involved in those cases. So we're not going to talk about fraud, but I just want to reiterate, do not lie to the insurance company. Hey, stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to explain to you why you have to be careful what you say to an insurance company all the way back when you sign up for your insurance policy. Okay, a fifth reason I've seen claims denied is that the person driving the vehicle at the time of the accident was an excluded driver. What do I mean by that? Well, when you signed up for your insurance policy, you may have had a kid living in your house and that kid had a bad record, and so the insurance company, in exchange for giving you an insurance policy, specifically excluded that driver from being covered under the policy. That driver, your daughter or son, was driving the car at the time of the accident. They are not going to be covered when you file a claim with your own insurance company for those damages. And there are other situations as well where drivers who are driving your vehicle at the time of an accident may be an excluded driver. You really have to check your insurance policy to see who is and who is not a covered driver. And that's why I always tell people after they get involved in an accident, make sure you get a copy of your policy right away so you can read it for yourself. Okay, a sixth reason why I've seen insurance claims get denied is that perhaps you were breaking the law at the time of the accident. Now, this is not a very common situation, and I'm not talking about that you were speeding at the time of the accident. But let's say, for example, you have a history of driving while under the influence, and you got into an accident while you were drunk. You may have a clause in your policy that specifies that if you are engaging in illegal activity, that you will not be covered under your insurance policy. If that's the case, I would again ask them to prove it to me. I would say, show me in my policy where it says that, but that is another situation where an insurance claim may be denied. I've also seen a lot of claims where drivers of Uber and DoorDash and Grubhub and Lyft and those kind of folks, they have their insurance claims with their own personal insurance denied because they were engaging in a commercial activity at the time of the accident. That seems to be changing, and I just recently heard from State Farm on a policy that they were covering a driver even though they were driving for Uber at the time of the accident. So again, you have to check your policy whether you're going to be covered when engaging in a commercial activity. Okay, the seventh reason why an insurance claim may be denied is that there's not enough insurance policy to cover your damages. So let's take a hypothetical. Let's say that you have a Mercedes-Benz that's worth $80,000 and the guy who hit you has $15,000 in property damage insurance. Well, there's a $65,000 difference there. The insurance company is only on the hook for what they contracted to insure, and that would be $15,000. So in this case, while your claim wouldn't be denied, you'd only be able to recover that $15,000 from their insurance company. Now, hopefully, you have a much larger insurance policy that you can tap into on your side as well. But that's another reason why I've seen claims falter, if not be denied. Okay, the eighth reason why an insurance claim may be denied goes all the way back to when you signed your insurance policy. Maybe you didn't tell the truth when you signed your insurance policy. So I guess this kind of relates to the fraud and lying that we talked about earlier in this video. But you didn't tell them that you had 16-year-old kids living in the house at the time of the accident and they were going to drive the vehicle. Or you made a misrepresentation about your driving record. Or you told them something that was false when you signed your insurance contract. I've seen insurance companies try to take that information and use it to deny claims. And by the way, this is not an exhaustive list. An insurance company will try to deny your claim for any reason they possibly can. That's what they're in the business of doing, delaying, denying, and diminishing claims. But those are my top 8 reasons why insurance companies deny claims. Okay, I mentioned earlier in the video that there were times when you may want to accept a small percentage of fault for an accident. I'm going to put a link to that video right up here. So if you want to check that out, that's the next video you should watch. And now it's time for your take on the law. Were you involved in an accident and an insurance company denied your claim? Tell us about it in the comments section below. Hey, thanks for checking out this short video on insurance claim denials. If you haven't already, would you please subscribe to our channel? And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me. If I can't help you, I'll try and find someone who can.